Hey everybody, I'm Jill Conway and this is Secrets of Powerful Women. So today it's just me, it's just Jill, and I want to share with you what I've been building behind the scenes. I've been thinking about doing this project for a long time, probably over 2 years, and I was actually looking in my journal and I wrote about this before I even started the podcast, before I started the radio show called Secrets of Powerful Women. It is something that I believe is really a natural next step for every woman who has been listening, because we touch on so many subjects in the show, and many women have commented that they would love an online community. So if you're driving, if you're walking on the treadmill or outside or folding laundry right now, I want you to stay with me. Give me 5-10 minutes because I want to go over what this is, because it's very different. So I love asking questions. So I want to start with this question that really leads up to it. And hear me. When was the last time you were in a room or a conversation where you didn't have to be on, where you didn't have to fake the energy or the smile and wear the mask? Right? A space where you didn't have to be the one with all the answers and you didn't have to argue to be heard, where someone asked you a real question and you gave a real raw answer and nobody flinched. A place completely devoid of judgment. So for a lot of women, that moment may be hard to even remember. And I think that's because we as women are very good at performing. We have been practicing it our whole lives. And maybe we are the go-to person at work, the calm problem solver at home, the friend that everyone relies on. It can be exhausting. So here's a question that I love to ask. Who are you? Have you ever looked in the mirror in the bathroom and looked in your own eyes and asked, who am I, really? Not the roles, not the labels, not the jobs, not the resume, not the one that has to make everyone comfortable. Who am I? And who do I want to become? I've been asking myself that question quite a bit lately. I've often journaled about it for years. And that question is the reason I actually started this podcast. I mentioned I started it as a radio show on a news radio station here on Long Island. And when I first said my idea out loud, someone said to me, well, who would listen to that? Well, now 10,000 downloads later, 4 awards, including Podcast of the Year this year. People like you are listening. And I may not know you personally yet. I hope to meet you someday. But I feel like we are growing together. We're trying to figure out this crazy world and share women's stories so that you learn from them, so that you hear how they built their multi-million-dollar business, their dream life, their best life, their dream company. And you learn how to do it for yourself. You learn how to find the joy and the passion. That's what I hope you get from this. So that's the reason I built what I'm about to tell you about. And it is very interesting, I think. What it is, I'll say this. 2 years ago, when I launched Secrets of Powerful Women, I had one goal. And that goal was to create the conversation that wasn't happening anywhere else, the honest conversation, the one where extraordinary women stopped giving the 10-second perfect news soundbite answer and started telling their real story, not how someone else wanted to tell it, but in their own words, unapologetically. And episode after episode, something happened that I really didn't anticipate. First, I didn't know if anyone was listening. And then women started reaching out to me. And not just to say thank you. Some wanted to be on the show. They thought I was doing great things. But so many of them said, now what? Where do I go from here? I love the show. I love the conversations. And I think the podcast gave them the conversation, but they wanted to still be in it and not just listen to it, if you know what I mean. I think they wanted a place to bring their own questions, their own turning points, their own versions of their story. and they wanted community. They wanted something real. And I kept thinking, I need to build that. I need to build the place where the conversation keeps going. So I thought about it. Do I build a podcast studio? I wasn't sure. So I decided I'll build a local networking group. And then some people messaged me and said, well, they don't live nearby, or they can't get out at night during the week, or they are just exhausted and can't put one more thing on their to-do list. And I completely get it because I'm often there too. I've had guests from over 30 different states and 4 countries so far on this podcast, and many of them want to be part of the conversations. They want to be interactive. They think that's a really cool idea, and so do I. So I built an online group called Secrets of Powerful Women, the Power Circle. And I want to tell you what it is, and I want to be honest with you about what makes it different from anything else out there, because, ladies, there are a lot of communities for women right now. There's a lot of memberships, there's a lot of masterminds and group programs, and I've signed up to many of them. But I was bored, and I'm 54 years old, and I was craving connection. I was craving information. I was craving real honesty, real genuine conversations. And most of the others are built around one thing: strategy, some sort of strategy, how to grow your business or how to build your brand or optimize LinkedIn, monetize your content or hit your revenue goals or whatever it might be. And that is useful. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not dissing it by any stretch of the imagination. But I believe strategy without self-knowledge, to me, it's just busy work, right? I think you can execute a perfect plan for life that doesn't exactly fit who you are. And I've seen women do it. I have done versions of it myself. But the power circle is built on a different belief that the professional work and the personal work are not separate, that who you are becoming is inseparable from what you are building and what you are creating, and that the life you have been dreaming of does not come from finding the right strategy. It comes, I think, from becoming the woman who is evolving, who is ready to live it. And very few communities do that. They don't touch base on all of those things. So inside this community, we meet twice a month, group live meetings on the computer around the proverbial campfire. And that is what I call our live group calls, because that is the energy I want in that room. It's not a webinar. It's not a workshop. Not attitudes, but a fire circle where real things get said without judgment. And I bring a question every time. I'm really into Wayne Dyer and Dr. Joe Dispenza and Abraham and Esther Hicks, and I have read all their books, and I'm so far into that spiritual side of things, that the idea that there is so much more to life that we don't see. So the kind of questions that I ask, they sound sometimes, I think, really simple when I write them down until you actually sit with it. So it's things like that, like, what are you building? And is it actually what you want? And when you answer that question, you shouldn't be afraid of what your answer is, right? Or what someone's going to say or do or judge you by. What are you tolerating that you have stopped even noticing? What would you do if you were not afraid of getting it wrong? So some of these questions that I've been known to ask my entire life, people are like, whoa, who is this one asking these deep questions? So on the community, then I get out of the way and let the other women in the room talk to each other. I'm still there. I don't leave. My mic is on the whole time. My camera is on, and so is yours. And that is the coolest part of it all, because here's what I know from all the podcasts I've done with powerful women. The most transformative moments almost never come from the expert. They probably did at one point, but they come from the woman sitting across from you who says something so specific and so true that it unlocks something in you, just kind of like a cause for pause, where you're like, what did you say? Like, oof, oof, that hit, you know? So that is what the campfire calls are for: unlocking, dreaming again, venting, things like that, where we can really be ourselves and have a deeper conversation that maybe sometimes we never have when we're at home. So once a month, we're also going to bring in a guest speaker. And if people love it, maybe more than once a month. And they're women who have built something extraordinary and are willing to tell you the real version, the version that includes the moment they almost quit, that they had no idea what they were doing, that they were scared, that they were nervous, the moment that they chose themselves, even when it cost them something. And that is the conversation I want you to have access to. And it's private, and it doesn't go on Facebook, but it's powerful. And I think it's extraordinary. And as I mentioned, I've studied all the greats, the metaphysics, the energy, the Reiki, the consciousness, law of attraction, everything, for most of my adult life. Jane Roberts, Esther Hicks, now I'm into Bashar. The great teachers, authors, or researchers who have pointed again and again to the same truth, but from different angles. And that there is more to you than what you can see and measure and put on a resume. That you have access to wisdom that goes way beyond what you have been taught or told. That your intuition is your most powerful navigational tool. It is your GPS. And the life that you have been dreaming of, it is not out of reach. It is in resonance with who you are becoming. So inside the power circle, we weave this in, not as a side note, but as a foundation. And I think it's pretty cool. And we talk about how to hear yourself, how to quiet the noise of everyone else's expectations long enough to access what you actually know deep inside. And this goes, we don't talk religion. I'm not doing that, but we'll talk just about our higher selves. We talk about energy and belief and the stories that you are telling about what is possible for yourself. Because I believe you're always in the process of creating your reality, your world. And the question is whether you are doing it consciously or by default, because you're creating every day. The power circle is where you start doing it on purpose. And I think that's really cool. I'm craving connection. I'm craving a deeper connection and a deeper conversation. And I hope you are too. So I know this group may not be for everybody, but I want to say something to the specific woman right now who's thinking about this. And maybe that's you. You are not at the beginning of your life. You have built things, you've lost things, you've rebuilt things, and you've removed things from your life. You have more wisdom than you are currently using. And you have a feeling that there is a version of your life that you have not yet fully stepped into. How do I know? Because I have that feeling sometimes too. So I ask you this: why aren't you living your best life yet? And it's not because you lack the talent. It's not because the timing is wrong. It's not because you need one more certification or one more year of prep or that investor. I believe it's because somewhere along the way you started kind of organizing your life around what was expected of you instead of what you actually came here to do. So maybe you just wanted to make someone else happy and you chose their happiness over your own, because that's what happens. We do that. Well, the power circle is for that woman, the one who's ready to dig deep, start dreaming again, start living it, start looking to change things about their life across all avenues. So how do you join? The community lives inside school, SKOOL. It is a private paid membership. It's not crazy, a paid membership, but I think people really, when you invest in yourself, you take it more seriously. And I don't want people who don't take this seriously. So, um, many of you have a special founders rate, but that price will go up to 33 a month. And I chose that number deliberately. 33 is a master teacher number in numerology. Throughout history and most cultures, it means enhancing your tuition, evolving and discovering your life purpose. And that is what this group is all about. And that is who this community is for. And I hope that is who you are. So if you're interested, the doors are open now. If you go to powerfulwomenusa.com, you will find the link to join. I will also put it in the show notes and link in bio on all my social media platforms, LinkedIn, podcast platforms, all that. So give it a shot. Stay for a month or stay forever. You know, the live campfire calls, again, are on now Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. There is a calendar there with the schedule, so you can also message me, or, you know, we also post reminders in a group page and send out emails. So it's a very cool community. I also post daily thoughts and inspirational things. I hope you choose yourself. That's what I'm hoping with this group. And maybe we take a half an hour every other week to do that. And I think it's important. So I'm not sure what you've been waiting for, but I know that you are listening to this podcast for a reason. And I know that the woman on the other side of that decision is someone I very much want to meet. And I look forward to it. Power Circle. The link is in the show notes. If you join, please introduce yourself. And I will see you at the next campfire. All right, bye guys.